afternoon everybody, welcome back to Farming with Boise. Got the new topper on the back, we just set it up out here on some of the green cover. We had a go yesterday, but then it just rained and rained and rained, so we stopped. We started out here again just a minute ago and it's raining again, but it's doing alright, so I'm going to keep going. So if you watched my last video, you would have seen the Kramer arrive on the Farrell's lorry with the new Bomford topper. Yeah, this is its first outing, so we're cutting some cover crops down that we don't want to seed. They are oats, vetches and phacelia, these ones here. So predominantly just for soil conditioning, so all of this is just for green manure going back into the ground. I've said in previous videos, we used to grow spring beans and winter beans, but the soil-borne diseases now, they've built up in our soils. We can't grow them anymore. So rather than growing some failed crops of beans, we sort of cut our losses, and we're going to grow green cover to try and put some goodness back into the ground. So this should give us a really good entry into next year's or this autumn's wheat crop going in. Yeah, it's not too bad a crop of oats and vetches and that. It went in quite late, as I think most things did last year because of the wet weather that came in. I think we're going to try and get more in behind the combine this year, as opposed to trying to put it in the middle of September when we're trying to drill our wheats and everything, and it holding us back. So yeah, I think we're going to tweak the green cover seed recommendations a little bit, cut some things back and add a little bit more of other things in. On some of our harder ground over the other side of the estate, we put some soil conditioners in with fodder radish and other things like that. We're going to bring some of those into this rotation of green cover and take some of the vetches and whatnot into that. So predominantly this out here is oats. There are in patches good covering of phacelia, and there's vetches throughout everything. I think really we could have put a few radishes in here, just to try and crack that ground up, lift it and give it some of that deeper conditioning. So I think it's just a learning curve. It's new to us, we've never done it before. I don't think we're going to see the results very quickly, but you know, it's like all these things, what you put in you get out. So we're quite excited to see what our condition of our soil turns into from doing this. Certain parts of the farm don't need it. You know, you go over on the chalky ground, and that's nice, light, fluffy ground. We will put other things in, nitrogen fixing varieties of cover crops to help with the entry into the wheats, but we won't be putting as much for organic matter because we haven't used those fields. These fields around the farm here, predominantly when we grow winter barley or spring barley, we take the straw off of them. So we have been pillaging from these fields, so we need to put a little bit of goodness back into these ones especially. So by the looks of it, by the amount of green cover that's going back in out there's a nice amount. It's going to grow again. We won't spray these until August, so this is going to green up again. These oats are going to go up again, going to try and fight to go to seed again. We may, if they go up pretty quick to seed, top it again. That's why we bought this new topper, because we're going to be topping around 500 acres a year now, and with our old 3 metre one, it wasn't quite 3 metres, 2.8. it would have just been an absolute nightmare. It would have took a long time. So it's pretty steady out here where it's a bit wet, where it keeps raining, and the oats are quite thick in patches. It's making a nice job, doing 10.8k in the thinner areas. In some of the areas over where the radishes are, they're not going to take so much to cut because they're yay high. They're not particularly thick, and I should be able to motor on a little bit quicker, but it's making a great job so far. I'm just gonna just keep plodding on and get some more cut. So we have run a Bomford tri-blade for, I would say, 8 years before this machine. We had a McConnell Raptor 9 before that, and a Wessex before that. So we got our, when our relationship started with Farrells, who are a local Johndeere dealer, a little while back, it was time to trade up to get a new topper. At the time we didn't do it very much then. We did a few bits on the downs, and a few of the paddocks around the farm, just tidying up edges and corners and whatnot. So we then went to Farrells, got a Bomford tri-blade, and we were very happy with it. Low maintenance machine, didn't have to do a lot to it, so it was ideal for us, because let's face it, it's one of those machines that loads of people just jump on, grab it, use it, abuse it, and put it back again. And yeah, it stood up to it well. We never had a problem with it. We had to put a new set of blades on it, that's all. I don't know what it done, probably a couple of thousand acres total in its life, so not a massive amount, but I wouldn't say it was the easiest life for any machine to have, because of the downs with all the cattle ruts. You know, it's banging the ground a lot. So really impressed with them, really happy with them. And yeah, we spoke to Farrells. They had the Bomford in stock. It was the right money, so we went for it. This isn't a paid promotion from Bomford or from Farrells. The estate paid for this machine with its own money, and yeah, it's just a good machine. It's a cracking machine. You might think, or some of you might think, that there's better machines out there. There probably are. There's probably more expensive machines out there. There's probably some with extra wheels and a few extra bits and pieces, but to be honest with you, for a good 4.6 metre topper, batwing topper, you couldn't ask for anything more. It's great, it's amazing. And the relationship we've got with Farrells, if we need a part, either Martin or Luke or anybody, if they're passing, they'll drop it out to us, or they're just, you know, they're there, they've got a good stock of parts if we need to pop over and pick something up. So works well for us, might not work for others, but it's so far it's turned out to be a good machine. Took a little bit of setting up, I'm sure they all do. Didn't quite realise, because it's trailed and not on the arms, what it would sort of entail. But we've got the spacers in now. We wound the pickup hitch up and down to work out how to get the float in there nicely. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. But I will tell you what it's like after I've done 240 acres with it. Afternoon everyone, it's now Thursday afternoon, it's just gone lunchtime, and we're in here now cleaning out the beef unit. Just before lunch we did this. Oh! So now we're mucking them out. So that's them out now for the summer. They'll run the downs all through the summer, and the water meadows on the back end of the estate. Yeah, we'll get the shed cleaned out, because all the pheasant food will come into here, and we'll store a few bits of machinery and stuff in these sheds through the summer. So we've still got 3 animals left to calf. One calf this morning, so they're going down slowly. Hopefully the next couple will be over the weekend, and then we can have everything out next week. we've kept a couple in that we have to do a few bits and pieces to, feet and whatnot. So yeah, majority of the herd's out. We're going to leave them all in one little shed, and it's just going to be a lot easier around the farmyard now. So less muck everywhere, less smell, and yeah, more barn space for putting bits and pieces. So we'll get this shed cleared out, we'll get the other calving shed cleared out, and then we will be done for the day, I would have thought. Tom's in the new Kramer, and it seems to be fitting in rather well at the moment. We've had it a week today, and we've been doing all sorts of things like fencing, mucking out the cows, feeding, biomass, all sorts of things like that, wood chip. So yeah, it seems to be going really well, so we're really pleased with it. So some of you might recognise this dung heap. This is the dung heap that was in my video of dung spreading recently. So we've started it off again, and we will leave this here for a couple of years again to rot down. But it's yeah, it's in the same part of the field. It's a real hard stony part of the field, so it's not really any use for us. So yeah, we're going to start storing the dung here again. We'll probably manage to get all of today's in here, and then we'll once we're cleared out, we'll get probably most of next winter's out here as well. So that will give us a nice amount, probably 200-300 tons out here again, to see us through. So this end of the farm is the end where we predominantly have the worst of ground, up around the top of it. It's on top of the downs. It's a bit thin in places. It's clay cap up the top here with a lot of flints, so it's always good to put a bit of goodness back in around this area. Really and truthfully, what we should be doing is putting it on the ground it came off of, but that's why we're doing the compost now. So now that we've got the compost going into those key areas where we're taking the organic matter away, we don't have to worry about carting dung miles across the farm. So we can keep it all nice and close, localised to the area on the beef unit, and just saves us a massive amount of time. Plus the tracks around here are rough as, and don't particularly like bouncing around tracks all day long. Afternoon everybody, it's now Friday afternoon, back on the topper, and it is chucking it down. Having a little bit of a storm here at the moment. I think there's gusts of up to 55 miles an hour, and yeah, it's not a very nice day. So we're back out in a field that's already been topped once about 10 days ago, and the black grass has now gone to seed out here, so we're just knocking the heads off before they flower properly, and we do actually get any seeds out of them, and then I think we're going to spray this one off next week. So we'll let it green up again slightly, and then we'll hit it with a bit of Roundup, and yeah, and get rid of this cover, because it is really bad for black grass. The whole field is, well, all over in patches. It's covered. So these green covers aren't in, as I've said I think before, they're not in any conservation. They're literally just here for us to put a bit of goodness back into the ground. So yeah, so we can sort of do what we want with them really, and yeah, just going to knock it off. It's a shame we're not going to get as much out of it as we wanted to. This one out here always was a bit thin, never was a very good one, green cover, because it's mainly just oats that came up. We didn't really get any of the vetches and Phacelia and any of the radishes, so we're not really losing a massive amount. It's going to have done some good. It's conditioned the soil, it's kept the soil alive with the root structure that's there, so yeah, we'll get this banged over pretty quick. It's only about 10 acres, so it won't take long to do this one. We're doing 15k out here because it's been done already and it's just thin, it's just knocking the seed heads off. Yeah, we'll get this one done, and then we're off for the weekend, so it'll be quite nice. I'm going to go and help Father do his hedge at home tomorrow, and we're going to cut his hedge and clear that up because he's got to have a new knee, so he can't do it all on his own. And then it'll be a weekend at home, I think, hunker down, because it's going to be wet Sunday, and then I believe the weather forecast is saying it's coming good on Tuesday next week. So Monday I think it's going to be showery, and then Tuesday onwards it's going to be really nice. So hopefully go and pick up the maize drill end of the week. We've got some power harrowing to do next week, a bit of fencing, all just bits and pieces, so I'll try and get some footage of all them bits and pieces as well. The grass now is growing, which is great, so I think we will be in the next 2 weeks starting our silage. We shouldn't be too far off of doing it. We're going to have to do it soon because we've got to get a second cut off of some of it, so I think it's pretty close anyway, so that'll be another one of the things that's coming up over the next few weeks in videos. So we've got a big area down in one of the other farms near the river, which is going back into arable reversion, so that's low input grass. So we're not putting anything on that. We put a conservation mix of grass in, of timothy, red fescue and meadow grasses last year, so we got a fence up this year, so I think there's about just over 2 kilometres of fencing to go on there. So that's another good thing to get on with. Apart from this little bit of topping, that's all I'm going to do for the rest of the day, so I'll probably leave you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I got a few more new subscribers, so that's great. We're growing the channel, so if you haven't subscribed, if you could subscribe, that would be great. Hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know how you think I'm doing, and what you'd like to see. If there's anything else that you'd like to see on the farm that I haven't shown so far, or that I haven't thought of, yeah, please leave a comment. It all helps grow the channel. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.